Drink beer, it's good for you. I'm empty-handed and I'm feeling blue, and I'm gonna drink till the day that I die.
Hello and welcome to the video. This video provides a guide to using the Grainfather counterflow chiller. The reason for making this video is actually twofold. Firstly, to help new users settle in quickly to its use. Even new users that have brewed before may not have ever used a counterflow chiller, and it's rather different to any other method. Secondly, because it is clear on social media that some existing users are still confused as to how to use this as intended. Some have even gone so far as to starting to go back to using a cooling spiral because they found the counterflow chiller to be not delivering as good results. In actual fact, a counterflow chiller is a very nice upgrade to a cooling spiral when used correctly. So let's get started. Firstly, it is worth noting that there are actually two different models of counterflow chiller that have been supplied by Grainfather. This is the first model, and here is the second. The difference here is quite small and does not change how they actually work. As previously mentioned, the principles behind a counterflow chiller are quite different to other methods of Wort chilling, so let's first look at how this works. As shown on screen, the basis of a counterflow chiller is a copper spiral. Copper is the material of choice for such things. This is because it's an excellent thermal conductor, being over 20 times more conductive than stainless steel. Copper is what is carrying your wort during the chilling phase of your brew. This copper spiral is surrounded by hosing. This hosing is connected to your cold water tap via a blue inlet hose, and this allows cold water to surround the copper that contains your wort, and a simple heat transfer takes place. At the other end of the counterflow chiller is red hosing, and this provides an exit for the water. To start with, the water on exit will be very hot, and of course that's something to be careful of, but given a little time it will be much cooler. I would urge you to collect the water that exits the red hose. This can be used later on in the process for cleaning. Included with your Grainfather are various adapters that allow you to connect your counterflow chiller to a cold tap. If none of them are suitable, then I would suggest obtaining a universal adapter as shown here now. The Grainfather counterflow chiller is designed to sit on the top of the glass lid of your Grainfather as shown here. Do note the orientation of the connection from the counterflow chiller into the Grainfather's recirculation arm. This should be coming from the top of the counterflow chiller, not the bottom. If it's at the bottom, you have it upside down. Okay, so without further ado, here are the steps used in the chilling process for the Grainfather counterflow chiller. Step 1. Make sure the counterflow chiller has had boiling hot water run through it for a few minutes to sterilize it prior to use. This of course can be done in other ways too. Some prefer to do this during the boil rather than at the end of the boil. I would recommend this because you really should be using a whirlpool at the end of your brew prior to chilling. The whirlpool will reduce your wort's temperature below boiling point, and naturally is important to sterilize at the correct temperature. Step number 2. Make sure your counterflow chiller is set up so that no hoses are snagged or kinked, and that the adapter that connects the counterflow chiller to your recirculation pipe is in the right orientation. Have the wort out hose positioned so that it feeds into the hole in your glass lid for now. If you are using a Grainfather water meter for temperature readings, then connect this up now, ensuring that you have a solid connection with your Grainfather temperature probe and water meter. Also ensure that the red exit hose is positioned somewhere suitable for water to run. This will be very hot to start with, so keep this in mind. Step number 3. Connect the blue hose to your cold water tap and turn it on. When you are using the cold water tap, it is highly recommended that the tap's flow rate is from 1.5 to 2.5 litres per minute, which equates to 0.4 to 0.6 US gallons per minute. You can check your flow rate prior to use with the counterflow chiller by using a measuring jug underneath your tap and timing it. make a mental note of the position of your tap to achieve this desired flow rate. Be aware that if you simply turn your tap on full, then you could damage the counterflow chiller by allowing too much water pressure. Step 4. Now we need to monitor the temperature of your wort. There are various methods. I will list them here in order of preference. Firstly, if you are using a water meter or similar, then simply keep an eye on the temperature. This is a fast process, so don't go anywhere. When the wort is showing the desired temperature, stop your pump and redirect the wort out hose from your counterflow chiller into your fermenter. Restart the pump and start the transfer. Secondly, some people simply go by the feel of the wort out hose in terms of how cool it feels. This is of course far less precise, but life is all about choices. Depending on your environment, it may be preferable to start your transfer to your fermenter when you are a little hotter than the desired temperature, especially if you're performing more aeration, which I would certainly recommend. This can cause a further temperature drop, of course. A little experimentation in your own environment here is key to refining your method. After these steps, it is vital to clean your counterflow chiller. This is done at the same time as cleaning the rest of your Grainfather. Please see my improved cleaning guide on how to do that. The image for this is on screen now. I strongly suggest that you follow up the cleaning process by pushing out any water left in the counterflow chiller. This can be done using common items like a bicycle pump or other forms of air-based pressure. As a final note, it is vital to understand that when using a counterflow chiller, that it is the temperature of the wort inside the counterflow chiller that is relevant, not the temperature of the wort inside your Grainfather or brewing system. The method here is not to recirculate wort through the counterflow chiller and back into the Grainfather for long. This is only done until the temperature in the counterflow chiller is suitable for transfer. This now concludes this video. I hope you have found it to be informative, useful and interesting. So if you did like this video, then please do like it on YouTube. This really helps me out and allows the videos to be seen by a wider audience on YouTube. I have always got a lot of new videos planned for the future, so if you are interested in seeing my new content, then please subscribe for future content. If you have any questions on anything that I have covered in this video or any other video, then please do not hesitate to get in touch with me via YouTube or Facebook. I'm a member of pretty much every Grainfather Facebook group and more. Happy brewing!